I'm going to tick off the things I've done because it's satisfying. I don't always remember. Ooh. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Hey guys, Rhi here from mummyoffour.com. Thank you for coming to hang out with me today. So I am doing a work from home kind of day, and I thought I'd just kind of bring you along and show you what I'm up to. I've got to do a few little jobs around the house first. I've got something to unbox. I've got some videos to film. And following my video where I talked about how to start on YouTube because I had so many questions about it, then a lot of you said it'd be really helpful to see how I film and edit. So although I'm not going to go into the editing in too much depth today, I thought I'd just kind of bring you along with me for a little work from home with me kind of day. So first up, let's have a look on the planner for what I need to do. So let's have a look at what we've got to do today. So down here, I always put what I physically have to do hour by hour. So I've got this middle block to fit all of this stuff into. Now, the way I work my to-do list, I put the top 3 things I need to do as my main focuses of the day at the top and these priorities. And then for my to-do list, this probably wouldn't apply to you if you're not working from home, but I put worky things at the top, and then I put non-worky, like more home things that I need to do down the bottom, if that makes sense. So obviously I'm vlogging now, so that's good. We're already on the case for that. I need to try and record 2 podcast episodes because I've got half term coming up. Well, not half term, the Easter holidays. I guess that's end of term holidays. So I'm trying to get ahead. I've got to film a video on flight tips. That's for my Disney Channel. I've got to sort through all the SD cards, which are these, because I need to delete off, look how many SD cards I've got, so many, but most of these are full. And I have got a list in my notes on my phone what's on each one, but some of them need to be wiped because I'm running out of space for storage. So that all needs to be done. And I've got that mic I need to test out before I film some of these videos actually. And then I've also got to do some restocking tissues and toilet rolls. So let's do that. I also need to sort the laundry. Now I know that I have to do that every day, so I wouldn't necessarily have to write that down, but something quite satisfying about ticking something off, that little dopamine hit from ticking things off your to-do list, that's quite satisfying. So I'm back from the school run. Let's do some of these bits and then we can move on to some of this stuff. Hopefully get through as much of this as we can before we go to do another school run. Let's start with sorting all of this laundry that's supposed to come out directly from the tumble dryer and directly sorted into the boxes for the various people. But I didn't have time, so I dumped it here. So let's deal with this, and then we'll restock the toilet rolls and the tissues because we are running low. Reorder some bits I need from Amazon, and then I can get on with some work. So the girls had swimming earlier this week. All of their swimming kit has just come out of the wash, and I'm going to fold it all back up and put it directly into the swimming bag so it's ready for next week. No point in putting it back in drawers and then packing the swimming bag. May as well just do it now. So William swims on a different night now. So it's just the girls. They both need swimming costumes. They have onesies that they put on over their swimming costumes to go to swimming, to get to the pool. And then they wear those with pants underneath home. So I'm going to fold that stuff up, and then we need to restock some toilet rolls and tissues. So that's the laundry sorted, the swimming kit away, the toilet roll's restocked. I cannot restock the tissues because I have run out of them. So I need to order those as well as the other bits I need to order. So very quickly before we go downstairs and get on with some actual work, I am trying to get back to answering some questions that have been sent in. So I took a load of questions from Instagram, which I will endeavour to answer some through this vlog and just sprinkle them through the other vlogs. But if you ever have a question for me, just put it down in the comments, but put question in capital letters first, and then I can filter through my comments and look for questions that I need to answer in future vlogs. So that's just write question in capitals and then followed by question, and I will endeavour to answer those if they're short questions in vlogs, or if they are longer questions, perhaps do entire podcast episodes. So anyway, one of the questions is, which jeans do I recommend? So these are quite dark ones actually. Most of the jeans I wear are lighter, but they're pretty much all the same brand. Looking at these, they look almost black. They are just like a very dark, like indigo-ish colour. I just budge you guys down like that. There we go, you can see. So these are my favourite ones at the moment, and in fact have been for some years. They're from Next. They've got actual pockets in the front and the back, and they're like crazy stretchy, you know, like they're really, really stretchy. You can actually do yoga in them. I need to do that. Like, is that a nice time even, don't I? Yes. Yeah, so I so often sit with like my legs crossed and things, so I cannot cope with non-stretchy jeans. They drive me nuts. So these are the ones. They are Next. I think they're called Slim and Sculpt and Shape or something. I'll put that on screen, the actual name of them. But I like them because they're high-waisted enough that they cover, well, they just don't cut you in the bit that's really unflattering. So these are my faves. They are skinny jeans because I am a millennial, and skinny jeans are the kind that I just can't get away from. I can't get into mom jeans or whatever. I can't, okay? I'm sorry. I feel happy in these, so this is what I'm sticking to. And with skinny jeans, you can put them into, you know, when I wear boots and things, or wellies if the weather's really stinking because the school's quite muddy. They're the ones I'm into at the moment and have been into for quite some time, if I'm honest. They're not the very cheapest jeans I found, but I would say they're quite good value for money because they do really last. And the reason I tend to steer clear of the darker ones is because my knees always go in jeans. They kind of go white because I'm always crawling around on the floor. I guess this is a habit from when the kids were babies to always be on the floor with them. But it's just something I always do. I'm always sitting on the floor. So, and one knee goes more than, like my left knee goes quicker than my right knee, which is really weird. Anyway, enough chit chat now. We need to record podcast episodes. 2 if I can manage it, if I've got the bandwidth for it. Because I'm trying to stack some content while the house is quiet. Listen to this. Exactly, it's nice and quiet. It's not going to be like that every Easter, so I need to film as much as I can now, plus those other videos. So down to the office and get on with that. Okay, so we're going to order tissues down for later. That is something that I can do later on. I feel like if I go down the Amazon rabbit hole now, I'm not going to get any work done. So it's on my planner under my non-worky home obligation stuff. I'm going to tick off the things I've done because it's satisfying. And I always write in my planner in these erasable pens. I tend to use purple because it's pretty for writing actual words. I feel like if I write it all in pink, which is my favourite colour, then it's a bit glary in my eyes, but I tick things off in pink for contrast. So we have done laundry, we have not restocked tissues, we have restocked toilet roll. I need to order cards as well. Right, that's going to be a later job. So right now, podcast recording, I am just going to sit here and record this one. If I am going to get round to recording a second one, I will do something, a little bit of trick of the trade, and go and change my jumper. So it's handy to record things back to back. If you've got the bandwidth for it, sometimes sitting and recording all day can be a bit much and you need to break it up. But if you've got the bandwidth for it and you need to film 2 videos back to back, I always change my top. Otherwise it just looks like the same video and people kind of look at it and like, oh, I've already seen this. And it just makes it look like it's a different day. So I think a lot of people do that. I know I definitely do. So for filming the podcast, I'm not going to use any lighting or anything. I've got a window just here and I'm going to put the light on my face like this. Can you see the difference? So if I was to film like this way, it would look really strange. backlit. Whereas if I sit here, the window on my face, can we see, like, ta-da! Don't need to bother with setting up lighting or anything like that. And sometimes if you've got a lot of setting stuff up to do, that can be a bit of a pain. Now it's a nice day at the moment and there's no direct sunlight coming in through this window, so that's going to work. Equally, if you've got a window that's really bright sunlight coming through and there's lots of shadows, that's not going to work. So then if it was too bright, I would close the blinds. I have got a ring light permanently set up here, which I can just flick on like this, and that's what it looks like. So I've got the ring light on now. I would close the blinds, and that's when I said I would have to clear up all this junk, like all that junk there. I would have to clear that up, but that's another way that I would film, and then that is kind of set up and ready to go. Now, obviously, when I started out, I didn't have like a dedicated office space with things all set up and ready to go. This is something I've kind of developed over time. But really, what I just wish someone told me at the beginning was just face a window, Ree, which I got the hang of it eventually, but initially I was not doing that. I was not facing the window and it looked just messy and dark. And I was only filming on my phone at the beginning. You really don't need to buy a camera. That's a camera something you can work up to when you kind of got into YouTube a little bit more. But just film on your phone. If you're filming on your phone, use this camera, not the front facing camera. It's tempting to use the front facing camera so you can see yourself, but use this camera. It's so much better. And I went into all this in a little bit more depth in that video about starting YouTube. Anyway, podcast now, sit over there and do that. And I have my notes for it. I don't have a script, but I have my notes of roughly what I want to say on my iPad. So we'll go through that, record that podcast. I do minimal editing on the podcast because it's not a proper video, it's really a podcast. And then we will film a video. Oh no, then we can unbox my new toy. Okay, testing. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Ree. Okay, so that's the podcast recorded. I'm now going to put that footage onto the computer. And while that is processing, we can unbox my new toy that has been sent to me. Okay, I have transferred the footage from the SD card, which I've actually put back in my camera right now, onto my computer. It's not onto my computer, it's onto a hard drive. I'll show you. A hard drive that looks like one of these, but is actually plugged in behind my computer. So none of the footage that I use is actually stored on my computer because it would fill it up and slow it down. So I transferred the footage onto one of these in my raw footage file. I'm now going to open up my Final Cut Pro library for 2024, which is stored on a different one of these. So behind the computer, there are two of these, one for raw footage and one for actually working on. And I'm gonna open up a new, it's called an event. So I'm opening that event. I label them all with the date backwards so that they all stay in order. So it will be the year, then the month, then the date or the day of the month. And then they're all in order. I can find them easily. So I label them like that with the date backwards, then the name of the vlog or whatever it is. So I've actually got two separate ones to import, haven't I? I've got the footage I've filmed so far for this vlog. So we put that with the date backwards. We call it Day in the Life vlog. And then all of the footage that let me show you. That way I can take all of the footage from this morning, I highlight it all and dump it into that event. And I've actually filmed some on this little camera as well, my little DJI, the bit that was like following me around. So I'm going to highlight all of that and name the camera that I'm filming it on, which is Sony ZV-1 Mark II. And that way I can sort all the clips by which camera or by date, depending on what I want to do with them. So now I need another lead. I need one of these to plug into my little camera and transfer the footage from there, because when I've got all of the footage in order, I can then plonk it into what's called the timeline and basically just put it all in order so that it's not all out of sync. The annoying thing about these computers is all the ports are around the back. I did used to have a port adapter thing, but it wasn't very reliable, and sometimes it would just fail and disconnect all my hard drives and things and corrupt them. Okay, so we're gonna import this footage too. We're gonna do this as a file transfer. Oh, see, I've still got loads of footage on here from ages ago, so I do really need to clean up. My plan is not to do a great deal of editing today. I feel like I kind of need to film as much as I can while I'm in the right mode, but equally I do like to drop everything into the computer because that way it is all safe and being backed up and I know it's in the right place. I can listen to the audio on it, so I can just like so much better, and I that sounds fine. But if when I played that back it was sounding scratchy, or if the plugs weren't in right or whatever, then I could deal with that now rather than continuing to film and ending up with a whole day of rubbish basically that can't be used. That needs to get dropped into there. I need to go through these SD cards because I need to grab another, I need to find another SD card to put in this camera, unless there's already one in here. Tell me there's already one in here, because we're going to use this camera to film the next video. Oh, good news. Excellent news. Okay, if I can turn this on now and this works. Now this is the camera that I used to vlog with, but now I only use for sit down videos because it is so stinking heavy. Honestly, can you believe I walked around Florida carrying that? I must have had like biceps for days by the time I got home. Anyway, I'm now using this just for sit down videos, but this is the camera I'm going to use to film the next video. But before we film the next video, we're going to have a look at a new microphone that I have been sent, which has got some massive benefits apparently. So let's take a look. So I have been sent this by Joby, which is a new microphone. Now, I don't know about you, but bad audio on a video is a real turn off. A lot of people are like, Ree, I want to get started on YouTube, I need a camera. Do you know what? Most people's phones are more than good enough to get started. The thing to upgrade that would be a cheaper option buying a new camera is getting the right microphone. And I've always been a little bit of a tech geek on the quiet, and although you do not need as much equipment as I have, I always really like to try out new equipment. So I feel like I'm using the best stuff that I can use to make the best videos I can possibly make, and also so that I can make videos in the most efficient way that I can make them. So this has got a couple of features that might help me in a couple of different ways actually. So we're going to open it. First we're going to use my little slice tool to get in. So this is the box. Ooh. Instructions in the form of a QR code, so we can just scan those to get the instructions. That's always good. I just recorded a podcast episode about decluttering, and I'm just always here for anything that can be decluttered. So if I can just have digital instructions, that I don't feel like I have to have an instruction book, because I don't know about you, but I've kept so many different instruction books from cameras and microphones and all sorts, and I just never look at them. I just go to YouTube if I need help with anything. Okay, so we've got this cable, which is for going between the camera and the microphone. How do we get into this? Very professional unboxing there, Ree. Ooh, cute. That on it. So this is the actual microphone. This is called a wind muff or a dead cat. The fluffier ones I tend to think of as dead cats. This one's actually foamier, not fluffier, and it's just to take the really harsh p sounds off the microphone, but also to reduce wind noise when you're out and about. So that would screw on to either a tripod, actually. I wonder if this could be used as a podcasting mic. I think it could. This could be screwed onto a tripod or onto the top of my camera. So I think we're gonna film the next video with this camera. So the mic can go on top like so. Apparently, it has, look, this has got a headphone jack so that you can listen to the audio. Where does that go? Right, okay, so you, how's this work now? If all else fails, I may actually have to look at the instructions online. Okay, so we've got a cable that goes from USB to USB-C, and there is a USB-C hole on here. We've got this curly cable, and also, wow, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cables. 4 cables for this microphone. Okay, so it's on this shock mount thing, which if, while you're walking around vlogging, I'm not gonna be walking around to film this, if while you're walking around vlogging, it's a bit bumpy, it takes some of the noise out of that. So the camera hole goes in there, apparently. Oh, that one's for a smartphone, it says on it. There we go. So if all else fails, read the instructions. Don't need that for a smartphone, but if you wanted to use this microphone with a smartphone, then you could. This one would be the one to connect the camera. Now apparently this will turn on and off with the camera, which is quite clever because, that's the wrong side, because there's nothing more annoying. I've got some microphones that you have to turn on and off, like there's an internal battery on them, you have to turn them on and off with remembering to turn them on and off, and that is not always great because, is this flat? It possibly is. Oh no, I just, helps if you close the battery door on your camera. Okay, so this is now on. You can see there's a light to show it's on. There is a headphone socket here. So if you are, I mean, you're unlikely to listen to the audio while filming, aren't you? But I tell you what I could do. You could test the audio. I'm gonna put these headphones into this microphone so I can listen to the audio output before I start recording. The benefit of this is, you know how earlier I said that I like to listen to the audio, check it's not all messed up. That has happened to me so many times where I filmed something and then it sounded really messed up. Oh, okay. Oh, wow, that's really crispy. And there is a volume, it's really loud actually. So I'm gonna turn that volume dial down. Is the volume dial here somewhere? Audio test, audio test, audio test. So this is a test, this is a test, this is a test. How's it sounding? I think this is sounding pretty good. Obviously I'm not gonna record the actual video with these headphones on, but it's just really nice to be able to hear. My voice is sounding really crispy actually, really, really crispy. There is like a hum I can pick, I think it's my computer. I do find if I'm recording in the office and my computer's on, I can sometimes pick up other more background noise. So I think I will, if I'm going to be using this really fancy, very sensitive microphone, I will boot my computer all the way down before I record the next video in here, because it's picking up so beautifully that I don't want any interference from noisy, you know, boilers. Like this is a boiler, sometimes that comes on, so I wouldn't record in here with the heating on. And the computer does sometimes make really funny noises, especially when it's processing things. So yeah, I'm going to turn that off before I record. I'm liking that because I've not had one that does this before. So normally I would set up the camera, I could do a little test shot, then I've got to take the SD card out, put it in the computer, listen to it, check it sounds all right, put it all back in, hope I haven't messed with the settings. With this, now I'm not going to sit and record with these things in my ear, but I can kind of go, right, does this sound okay? Testing, testing, testing. If it sounds all crispy, then I can just hit record, because the problem you get with any microphone is if the microphone wires, you see these little wires that go into the camera, if they're not put in properly, it can sound crackly, it can sound distorted. Sometimes you've got the settings on the camera, the gain, which is like how much sound it takes in, set up all funny, and that will in essence break your audio and it will sound appalling. And if you watch some of the early episodes of the podcast on my main channel before it moved on to the other channel, I ran into so many issues like this, just trying to figure out new equipment and stuff. So this is great. I love the fact there's a light telling you it's on. Like the camera I'm using at the moment has a red light when it's on, and there's a big red box around the screen when it's recording, because there's nothing more annoying than thinking something is on and you're talking and it's not actually recording, and there's nothing more annoying than talking to your camera and the audio hasn't been captured because the microphone wasn't on. Okay, cool. Right, I'm happy with that. I'm going to try that out for the next video. I'm going to stick the microphone on charge just to make sure it's got plenty of charge. I'm just going to sort some bits on the computer first. I need to amend my media kit. I've had a few emails coming in from brands. I don't do any pitching to brands anymore. I used to when I first started out, where I'd contact a brand, say, hey, I'd love to work with you. Here's a bit about me. Now I just get emails coming in, which is great. A lot of them are not suitable, and I would say 95% of the brand work offers that come in, I say no to, because I think the most important thing about my channel is keeping it genuine. The most important thing about it really is the relationship I have with you guys. And if I talk about something that I don't genuinely love, that I wouldn't genuinely talk about for free anyway, that doesn't feel authentic to me, you guys aren't going to trust a word I say, and ultimately you're going to stop watching my videos, which is not what I want. So I want to make sure that everything I'm saying is absolutely authentic and feels real and realistic, which is why I turned down most of those. However, there have been a couple coming in saying, we'd love to work with you, can we see your media kit? It's sometimes called a rate card, sometimes called a media pack. And I've realised I haven't updated it with my newest stats and things. So my media kit is basically a bit about your channels, it's your current stats and things. It might include brands you've worked with before, links to things like that. I have mine in a PDF and I attach it to emails to send out. And then you don't necessarily have to include it. If obviously it's a rate card, it will include your rates. Sometimes it's better off just to say to the brands, what is your budget? Because then they will come back, perhaps sometimes with a number higher than you would have asked for. But ultimately, I have got the numbers on my rate card because I found it's saved me a lot of toing and froing in the past of how much it would be to do a video, how much it would be to do a podcast ad insert, all the kind of various different things that I offer. So I'm going to update that now because in effect my stats are about 6 months out of date and that's not cool. Send off the emails to the brands and then we'll record another video. So I've managed to film the one podcast. I've done some of that stuff on the computer. I wanted to film a second podcast episode. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to get that done today, let's be honest. But I do want to get this flying with kids tips video. I know I did one a while ago, but I've got a lot of updated stuff to say. Video, which I think is going to go on my main channel. It could sit on either, but I think I'll stick that on my main channel because that applies to all flying, not just Disney stuff. And then I've got a video to do for my Disney channel as well. So I need a different top to put on, so I'm not just always wearing the same thing. And see, I've worn this before, as in this winter. When I put all my clothes back in after my wardrobe switch over to the winter, I put all the hangers in this way, and then when it's the first experiment doing this, when I've been putting them back as clean clothes for having worn for the winter, I'm putting them back this way, so when you go to take them out they're hard to get out and you have to try and think, oh, maybe I should wear something else. But for now I think that, because that's dark, I have to change my bra. And what should we go for this one? This one, because that's a Disney one. There you go, tops for other outfits. I will take those downstairs and I can change into them. I can change one now, I suppose. So I think I'll do filming for one. I'll film the flight tips one first, because that's going to have to go out first. I do try and prioritise filming or editing the things that need to be done soonest first. Obviously that makes more sense that way. If I run out of time, it doesn't matter as much. But yeah, I'm going to change to this top, film that flight tips video, change back into this so I don't get food on the clothes I'm not even wearing today, and have some lunch because I'm starving, and then we'll film for the Disney one after lunch. Now I did think about filming in the lounge for these videos, but there's two issues here. First of all, it's really sunny, which is lovely, but when you're filming and it's too sunny, you get kind of like squinty, and when the sun moves around a little bit more, like that just doesn't look good, does it? It just doesn't look good. Second problem, not a massive problem, but second problem is we've got the Easter display that the children did in the lounge, and for what are called evergreen videos, as in like this Flying with Kids video, it's not going to be a seasonal dependent thing. It's not like a vlog that is happening at a certain time. That's fine. So if I'm vlogging and there's all this in the background, that's fine. It's just how my life is. If, however, it's a video that I want to be applicable all year round, it's got Easter stuff in the background, so I don't know, just feels a bit weird. Anyway, so we're gonna stick with filming in here. The computer's still on and making this humming noise, so that's gonna have to go off, isn't it? Okay, let's turn off the computer setup for filming for the flight tips video. I think I'll just sit here. It's fine, isn't it? Just sit here, I think. Or do we sit over here? Should we do it here? What do you think? We can move the bunny because that's a bit seasonal. Put the light on. Should we do it like this? I can also adjust the temperature of the light, so make it cooler, warmer. What do you think? Should we film it like this? Perhaps light the candle in the background. Sometimes looks nice, a little flickering in the background. And I know when I use this camera, there's a lot more like blur in the background because this big old fancy lens blurs out the background and makes it look all cool. Maybe we'll sit here actually, but the computer's gonna have to go off because of the noises. Okay, so that's that video filmed. I did manage to remember to take a photograph. I don't always remember to take a photograph of the thumbnail. And you know, the proper advice for YouTube is to do the thumbnail before you even make the video, which I guess I could do in a video like this, where I'm just sitting down doing a talking head video. But with the vlogs, obviously I can't do that. So brilliant advice as that is, it's pretty much useless for my Disney Channel or when I'm doing vlogs. So managed to film that, managed to do a thumbnail. I'm gonna get changed back now, eat some lunch because I'm starving. And then I do need to film another video, don't I? Okay, I need to have some lunch and get my energy up first. Lunchtime, and I'm gonna have one of these, which one are we gonna have? Pasta bolognese, I think. These are from Iceland. I've been buying these for a while, I think, and they're so yummy. They're not, this isn't sponsored or anything. It's just, I like the weather's, like, it's a beautiful sunny day outside. Can you see how gorgeous and sunny it is? But it's still blinking freezing. So having a nice warm meal at lunchtime to kind of fill me up is a good thing. I feel like these have got quite a lot of protein and veggies in them, which is good, because I find if I have like quite a carby lunch by mid-afternoon, I'm absolutely starving. I've got the shakes. I feel like protein and veggies keep me on track for a bit more of a productive afternoon. So outfit change is done. I've got a different top on to film this video. I found some ears. I've got my camera set back up, the computer is off to avoid noises, and I have put my Disney bits, they're actually the children's toys, but I've put them in the background to make it a bit more Disney for my Disney Channel video. So let's film this and then get it all put into the computer and tidied up and backed up, and maybe if I've got some time, maybe even get some editing done. I don't think I'm gonna have the bandwidth to do that last podcast episode though. I think that would tip me over the edge. I think my brain will be at zero brain power by the end of this. Hi guys, Rhi here. Welcome back to my channel, Mummy of 4 Does Disney, and a very exciting trip announcement. Okay, ears off, because that is filmed. I did add this extra little light on top of the camera because I just couldn't get the lighting right. So I've added that little one, but this little light's quite good because there is like a cold shoe, which means you can stick the other microphone on top. I did listen to the audio of the new Joby microphone through the headphones, and I've got to say, so far I'm really, really pleased. But you can watch any of the videos that I have filmed in this vlog when you watch the final videos of the one that I just filmed on my Disney channel, which is a trip announcement, and the flight tips, which will be on my main channel. You can hear the audio. So now I'm going to get all of this into the computer. I have got an hour before I've got to go and get the children. That is not enough time. Honestly, I've not got the headspace. I know I was going to try and film another podcast episode, but I can't do that. So I'm going to import the footage. I'm going to change, actually. I'm going to put this away. Hang this up before I get it mucky. Hang this up, put my clothes I'm actually wearing back on today, and then transfer all the footage. So all the footage is safe and backed up, and then I've got like this Time Machine extra hard drive that backs everything up. I'm a bit fanatical about backing things up, having lost footage previously and it being a real problem. So I'm going to put all that in the computer, and then I guess the one that's coming out first out of all the videos I've done today would be the podcast, because that is coming out, I'm quite far ahead actually at the moment. Everything for the next 2 weeks is fully scheduled. So yeah, the podcast is the one that's coming out next. I've got these clipboards up here. You can see along the top, and they got there in chronological order. So the one that needs to be done first, I bring down the clipboard to do the things. So the next one that actually needs to go out is a Disney vlog, which I've done the like the main edit. I do my Disney vlogs in a slightly different way. I do the main edit, and then I have to watch them back and check them because there's so much detail in them. Like these vlogs are quite easy to edit, really, my home vlogs. My Disney vlogs, they'll start off like 4 hours long, and I've got to cut it all back, and there's a lot of very intricate like information and stuff, because I'm putting information on the screen about rides and height requirements and loads of info about the parks and things. And it's so easy to miss things and for the edits to go a bit squiffy if I haven't checked them. So I find it really hard to check my edits when I'm too close to them. So what I tend to do is I export the edit, I put it in my Patreon, and my Patreon are just, they're like the luscious group of people, and they very much with love say, oh, there's a typo and 2 minutes in or whatever, and I'm just so grateful for that. And then I watch it on the big TV with the kids, and then any bits that just look a bit off, or I find the music doesn't sit right, whatever, I just make those tweaks. So I've got to do that for a Disney video, but I'm not sure I'm gonna have time to do all of that now. So the podcast feels like a quick win. That's gonna be quite a quick edit, because I really do minimal editing on the podcast, so I can get that up and done. So sometimes, although this clipboard at the end is the one that needs to be done first, this second clipboard being the podcast one, if that's a quick win, I can like take that down, it can be finished, it can be filed, and it can be off my mental load totally. So sometimes it's got to be the chronological, what needs to happen first, but if that's a big like meaty project, then the quick wins are for the win, I guess. And just like that, it's the end of my working day. It's time to go and get my kiddos from school. At least the sun is shining, so that is definitely something to be grateful for. Some days I feel like I've achieved loads, other days not so much. I wanted to get a bit of editing done this afternoon, and I wanted that extra podcast episode filmed. I did not manage that, but counting my wins, I did the podcast, the flight one, the Disney one, and I guess I filmed this vlog as well. So I've filmed 4 videos. So actually, although I can like wax lyrical about the things I haven't done today, I'm probably better off focusing on the things I have done, which is filming 4 videos, which is pretty productive. And filming videos is something I definitely need to get ahead with, because editing videos while the children are home is marginally easier than filming them because of, you know, noise levels. So yeah, I'm gonna have to be pleased with my progress for today. I hope you've enjoyed this little insight, little sneak peek into what goes on behind a YouTube channel. Obviously it's a little bit more than, you know, filming if you film 3 20-minute videos a week, it takes more than 20 minutes to put those together. It takes a lot longer than 20 minutes. And I don't think a lot of people realise that. I think people think, oh, you know, that's an hour a week. Nice job kind of thing. But obviously there's a lot more to it than that. And there's a lot more to it than I've actually been able to show you today. We've like not gone into editing or anything because I haven't been doing any. But if there are any kind of YouTube behind the scenes things you want me to show you or share, or any specific topics you'd like me to cover, people have asked me to do a video on camera gear specifically, things I really recommend. So I think that might be a helpful video to do, because even if you're not into YouTube, a lot of people have asked like which camera should I get just for filming my kids and stuff like that. So I've got a lot to say about that, and maybe about camera confidence, that kind of thing. And in fact, very quickly, I'm going to answer another question I had from Instagram. Then it is time to go and get the kids. Someone said, what would you do if you didn't do YouTube? And the truth is, I did used to do stuff before this, and there's also other stuff I've done alongside this. I have a business studies degree. So I worked in sales and marketing before, well, when I just had one child. So when we just had my eldest, and our, let's call it, support system was a little bit different. I was working for other people, and then our circumstances changed, and only working for myself was ever really going to be an option for lots of various reasons there. But as I was setting this up, there's lots of other ways I was earning money. I was doing outsourced consultancy, that kind of thing. So the other video I thought about doing maybe was different ways to make money from home, because I know that that is something that a lot of people are perhaps interested in, and there's a lot of different ways that I know about, some of which I've done, some of which I've looked into, a lot of which I've done actually. Ultimately, a few different incarnations have been along the way in order to get to where I am now, including helping people out with their YouTube channel. So I do like one-to-one sessions online, helping people get started with, sometimes it's just social media to support their business and to promote their business. So that's what I used to really do. So I guess if I wasn't doing YouTube, that's what I'd still be doing. I'd still be doing social media consultancy and maybe a bit of social media marketing management, which is what I used to do. So yeah, do you want to see a video on how to make money online as, well, not necessarily as a parent, because anyone could do it, but you know, as a parent, that's kind of a handy thing to be able to do. Anyway, that being said, it really is time now for me to go and get my kiddos. So thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe, do the YouTubey things, check out my Patreon for early release content, check out another video on screen now. I shall see you over there. Mwah. Bye.